Chairman, I yield back.
Thank you. The gentlelady from Iowa, Ms. Hinson, the floor is yours for questions.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, Ranking Member Cuellar, and thank you, Acting Commissioner, for coming before us today. I appreciate your openness to having good conversations with our committee about your needs. I want to talk today about something that's very important to me. Just a few weeks ago, in our Select Committee on China, we had a hearing on fentanyl about how Communist China is working directly with the cartels to funnel fentanyl precursors into our country by any means necessary. And their goal, plain and simple, is to take out as many Americans as possible. Can you speak to what you're observing in terms of high volumes of small packages containing these fentanyl precursors coming in from China, originating from China, and maybe some other concerning trends that you might be seeing?
Thank you for the question. And yes, last fiscal year, 2023, as everybody in this committee knows, subcommittee knows, we made a concerted effort on our southwest border to start with, and increased operations going after fentanyl, and we nearly doubled our seizures. But along with our increased operations on the southwest border, we were collecting information and intelligence to determine where we would go next. And through those operations, we determined that precursors were coming through in transit through our airports of entry in small packages and going to the southwest border and ultimately into Mexico, where the fentanyl is being produced. So through those efforts, we surged resources to our airports of entry to look at de minimis packages, small packages, those mostly under 800, manifested as under $800.
Were there specific airports that were?
Los Angeles and JFK.
Okay,
were
so
the two.
it's coming into the United States, going back to Mexico,
Right.
and then coming back into the United States.
It was, and so as we were looking at this, what we figured out was that it was coming through the small package environment. And just to your first question, so we went from 600 million packages in 2022 to 1 billion packages, small packages, in 2023 to 4 million packages a day as we sit here right now. And so as we were doing the increased examinations to cut to the chase, we were seeing precursors in transit through Southeast Asia, coming in, originating in China, coming through mostly JFK and Los Angeles, and going down to the southwest border and into Mexico. Along with that, we were surging resources to our express consignment, our mail facilities, and we're finding pill presses, dyes, and molds coming from China into our express environments through small packages.
So this is completely intentional by them, pounds, not ounces of fentanyl, all of these manufacturing equipment, the pieces of equipment that they need to execute this. I think this is not only a safety issue, but it seems like it's a blatant and systematic attack on our communities. Do you agree?
What I will say is we need help in the de minimis environment. And there are several packages out there that will allow us to have the appropriate data, number one, to determine where the shipment's coming from, what's in the package, where it's going, and the appropriate funds to be able to fund our CBP officers to open the packages, and the appropriate penalties to assess those that are carrying those packages when they don't know what's actually in the package. And then there are additional legislative packages out there that would allow us to actually bring that level down to a manageable level for us.
We look forward to working with you on that because it's very clear and it's appalling the lengths that China is willing to go to funnel these precursors into our country. And I mean, they're already subsidizing it for export only, right? Not for domestic production, but for export to directly poison Americans and others around the world. One thing in the time I have left, I see your budget has a lack of funding for new autonomous systems at ports of entry. Can you speak to why, when we know that technology is critical, we've helped to deploy much of that over the past few years, that you're prioritizing traditional manpower over some of these force multiplier systems?
So we need both. We all know that the sequencing of this budget year was a little bit difficult, so we certainly need additional technology, artificial intelligence, machine learning in particular at our ports of entry as we go after the fentanyl problem.
Well, we will continue to make that a priority in our office to make those investments. We understand how important they are to you. Thank you, Commissioner.